I think the easiest way to describe modes is to use the major scale. Now keep in mind you can have modes from any scale. But if we have the major scale, it's a major scale because it has half steps between 3 and 4, 7 and 8. There's a C major scale. So the modes are, very simply, starting on another note. So for instance, if we start on note number 2, which is a D, and we play from D to D, or 2 to 2, we are playing the Dorian mode. Now, the Dorian mode, instead of having half steps between 3 and 4 and 7 and 8, now you have half steps between 2 and 3 and 6 and 7. That creates a different feeling, a different sound. So here's major, also known as the Ionian mode. Here's 2 to 2, Dorian mode. 3 to 3, Phrygian mode. 4 to 4, Lydian mode. 5 to 5, Mixolydian mode. 6 to 6, Aeolian mode. And 7 to 7, Locrian mode. So that's an explanation of what the modes are. That is not the easiest way to learn modes. Now, as an improviser, I always think of modes off of chords, meaning if I have a minor, let's say I have a D minor chord, D minor 7th. Here's a D minor 7th. I can play the Dorian mode. Now here's the Dorian mode. Already explained that's a C major scale from 2 to 2. But the easier way to think of it, if you're playing jazz, is you have a D major scale and you simply flat the 3rd and the 7th. So it's like a minor version. That's the way you hear it. So you have a D minor chord and you have a Dorian. Let's learn the modes. The way to learn the modes is to take one note and play all the modes from that note. So let me give you an example of what I mean. If I have a C major scale, I can use that scale to play over major chords. And it's a major scale. It's also called the Ionian mode. If I want to change one note, I can raise the 4th. It's kind of like a little speed bump on a C major scale. There's your Lydian mode. If I want to change another note and flat the 7th, I have a Mixolydian mode. See? Sounds different. Here's Lydian. Here's Mixolydian. That works for the dominant 7th. Now, once we flat the 7th, let's flat the 3rd and the 7th. There's the Dorian mode. If we want to flat one additional note, we can add the flatted 6th. That's the Aeolian mode, also known as the natural minor. If we want to flat one more note, we can flat the 2nd. Flat 2, flat 3, flat 6, flat 7, that's the Phrygian mode. And one more, if we want, we can flat the 5th. In addition to the Phrygian mode, we would go like this. And that's called the Locrian mode. So, what I recommend is that you study each mode separately. Take each mode, play it in all keys, and just play it over and over and over, play the scale, until you start to get a feel for that mode in all keys. Then we'll go on to an exercise.